Okay, so today it's the invasion of the Samsung Galaxy A series onto your shelves. I've got two of them here, but there are actually more like half a dozen in the range just to make your handset buying decision more complicated than ever. So I've got the A55 here in awesome ice blue. Uh, I know it looks white. I guess it does kind of have a bluish tinge to it. It's quite a nice colour. And then the A35 here in awesome navy, which to me actually looks a little bit more purple than navy. But anyway, they're just names of colours. Yeah, as you can see, it is a bit tricky to tell these phones apart. Apart from the colour, and that's true right throughout the entire range. They've all got these 6.6 inch displays. They all have, this sort of three lens camera array on there. Although, once you look under the hood, you'll see that that doesn't actually mean that they're the same camera setup, of course. They also all have this new button island on the edge there. So if I show you that one, and you can see it on that one too. So that just means that it's a little bit easier to locate the buttons straight away. So that's quite a nice feature. So those are the sort of the similarities. And then you've really got to start to dig down to find out what's different. So one thing that's different, of course, is the chip. That's a main difference. So there's been an upgrade on the chip between the A54 from last year and the A55 this year. Interestingly, that chip that was in the A54 last year is now. That's the chip that's running the A35. So although it's a year old, that chip, it's still a very good chip. It used to run the top of the A series line. If you get what I mean. What other differences can I tell you about these two phones? For the first time, we've got a metal rails around the edge of the phone, so that gives a more sort of premium feel. They've upgraded the glass on the front of the phone as well. So that's a slight more durability advantage over the A35, which has still got the plastic edges. It does still have the glass on the back though. So that's quite nice. And like I said, the cameras are not the same. You've got a 12 megapixel ultra wide lens on this one, and it's only an 8 megapixel one on here. And there's some AI processing built into the imaging chip on this phone as well that you're just not quite getting on this. And saying that, let's have a look at some video from both these devices and see if you can tell which one is which. So let's play this video first. Right, you go get that ball, Jerry. Look at that boy run. Now we're going down the hill after him, and this is where that super steady comes in, because I'm not very steady. Jerry, on the other hand, steady as. He's just thinking, is he going to go and meet some dogs? Maybe. Anyway, what do you think of that? And now let's have some similar, not the same, but similar footage from one of the, we don't know which one yet, and see if you can tell the difference. I've got the old Super Steady on, and I'm also using the 360 mic function, which is a pretty advanced sort of function to have on a mid-range phone like this. And so what that's doing is it's using the Galaxy Buds Pro 2 that I've got in my ears to create a 360 degree soundscape. So if Jerry does anything, you'll hear that in front of you, and you're hearing me behind the camera at the moment. And just get a little. This is me very dangerously walking backwards given my history of tripping over and breaking parts of my body. You'll hear my footsteps, and we'll see how steady that looks. Okay, so if you guessed that it was the A35 that took that first video, you're right. And it was the A55 that took the second video. So both great videos, and that's the cameras are great on these, really. I mean, it's not, that flagship, all the bells and whistles that you would expect from those sort of $2,000 plus flagship phones. But remember, these all come in well under $1,000, for these mid-tier devices. So there are going to be a few compromises, but not as many as you might think. The main thing that's missing is all the AI capabilities that Samsung's made a big noise about with the S24 series earlier on in the year. So all those sort of that AI that happens, on the device, on the chip. And like I say, there's a little bit of that going on here with the A55, but you won't get those, that live translation ability and all that sort of stuff that you can read about in my S24 Ultra review anyway. Very good phones. These are not high-end gaming devices either. But in saying that, they just don't have the cooling or the fast chips, to do that. But in saying that, and with the way I use them, I had no problems at all starting up apps, working the camera apps. All those sorts of things where sometimes it's slow or you get a little bit of a stutter with your lower powered chips. These chips are still definitely doing the job, and you also get the bonus of there's less battery drain too. So I mean, by the end of the day, with both these phones, the battery life was excellent. Luckily, if I was down below 70% charge by the end of my long day, and because they will both charge at up to 25 watts, which is quite fast charging, I would just top them up and then not even plug them in at night, because I know that there's plenty of charge to get me through the next day. So my advice to you is go to the phone shop and try the different models out. And see if you can spot the differences. And when you get to the point that you can't really spot the difference anymore, that's probably the price point that you can stop at, because it probably fills your requirements. Like I say, they're both really good phones. Oh, just one other little difference. The A55 does have eSIM capability. Both of these do still have SIM trays, and they have SD slots in those SIM trays, so you can expand the storage, which is nice. But the A55 is the only one of the A series that's eSIM capable, so that might be a factor for you to consider, because I know that I spent more time with this phone simply because I could transfer my eSIM onto it, whereas if I wanted to use this as my daily handset, I'd have to go back to a physical SIM, and that was just too much trouble. I couldn't be bothered waiting online to a help desk in the Philippines for my phone provider to change that over, because then I don't only want to change it back again probably. So anyway, yes. So if you are on eSIM, the A55 might be the way to go. But both of these very reasonably priced handsets with a lot of very, very good features.